Hello, I'm Carrie, and it's been 5 years since Bitter Sweet Symphony Part 2 aired. This episode aired in both the US and Canada on February 22nd, 2013. And all I really have to say is, wow. And a lot of people agree with me that it definitely doesn't feel like it's been 5 years since this episode aired. This is one of those episodes that I don't rewatch. Rock This Town is another, for the obvious reasons. But it's interesting to think about this episode now because 5 years is a long time to be a TV show fan. If you were in high school then, you're college-aged now. And if you were in college back then, well, now you're officially in adulthood. For me, it still remains that Demetrius Joyette was amazing in this episode. Dallas, he brought pain and raw emotion to the loss of Cam. And when it comes to Maya, it should be even more clear now that her seemingly indifferent attitude, which eventually turned into anger by the end of the episode, was her not knowing how to process what had happened. I don't know how many fans know this, but Degrassi created Cam for the specific intent of telling a story about suicide. And at one point, they even second-guessed whether or not they should go through with it because they realized that Cam was a pretty well-liked character. And had he stayed around, he probably would have become one of the alpha male characters on the show, an Eli, a Drew, a Miles. But they went through with it anyway, and in my opinion, that led to the best arc that Degrassi's ever done, which is how Cam's death affected Maya from that point on. Fans always complain about how Degrassi wraps up every storyline in 2 episodes, which if you're saying that in very generic speak, it's pretty much an over-exaggeration, especially if you're looking at Degrassi from season 10 on, because the writing structure is completely different from season 10 all the way through Next Class than it was in seasons 1 through 9. So things like Miles and his dad and Maya and her PTSD, stories that spanned over multiple seasons, they tend to get overlooked in that capacity. It was amazing just to see how much Cam's death affected Maya, especially in seasons 13 and 14, without her mentioning Cam by name every 2 seconds. Her actions in regards to Zig being homeless, Miles' jealous and erratic behavior towards Zig freaking her out, her interfering in Tristan and Yates' relationship, her having nightmares to the point of breaking into Miles' house to make sure that he's still alive. All this was because of the guilt that she felt that she couldn't save Cam. And she was bound and determined to never let something like that ever happen again. And Degrassi didn't have to do this, but they tied it all together in Next Class Season 3 after the bus crash with Maya and her own depression. So the events of Bitter Sweet Symphony dictated years of storytelling in the Degrassi universe, and I find that to be pretty incredible. That's all I've got for you in this video. Leave your thoughts on Bitter Sweet Symphonies, the 5-year anniversary of Part 2 airing. You can leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to Degrassi Corner for the latest Degrassi news and more.